After 28 games down in Clearwater, Florida, and around the Florida Gulf Coast, we have a change of venue. That's right, we're heading to Reading, Pennsylvania tonight, where J.P. Crawford and some of the future stars of the Phillies will be showcased at First Energy Stadium, along with the big club. It's the first of two exhibitions, today and Saturday. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. It's a beautiful night out in Reading, Pennsylvania, and the fans are filing in, excited to not only see the Phillies, but also see some of the players that helped the Reading Phils get to the Eastern League playoffs last year, and potentially some of the players that will do it again this year.
It is a very bright future for these Phillies. A lot of prospects in the minor leagues, AA, AAA levels, and that's where you like to see your top prospects and them doing the producing in the minor league levels. This is great for the fans. It's great for the fans of Reading. It's great for the fans here in Philadelphia just to see and catch a glimpse of what could possibly be those Phillies down the road.
All right, so some of the players that will be part of this series, Cornelius Randolph is not part of the list that will play the next couple of days, but everybody else on this list will. It's from MLBpipeline.com. J.P. Crawford is number 5 overall in baseball and number 1 in the Phillies system.
And rightfully so. He pretty much has earned that right. He's played very well at every level in the minor league system, and I think it's not too far down the road that we're going to see him come up and be an everyday contributor for the major league club. Now, what I like about the fact that these prospects, there's a lot of prospects, yes, in the top 100, and a lot of ball clubs have very pitching-laden prospects. The Phillies have both. They have the prospects that can throw it, and they have the prospects that can hit it and field it as well. At some point, no matter how good your pitching is, Tom, you still need to score some runs.
Well, we also saw Mark Appel that was on that list, and we will see Appel at some point tonight. But first, we're going to see Zach Eflin make the start. Dusty Wathan, I talked to him last night and then this morning as well. He said he's hoping to get 4 or 5 innings from Zach Eflin tonight in this game, and then Appel will pitch right afterward.
Yeah, it would be great to see both of them because they both have very good stuff, and it's nice that these fans are going to get to see Zach Eflin again. Zach Eflin, really, really big guy. He was acquired by the Dodgers in the Jimmy Rollins trade. What I like about him is his fastball command. He can climb the ladder. He can go inside and out. He's got good run away from lefties, good run in on righties, and he really is the complete package.
Well, and last year when the Reading Fightins were going to the postseason, he had a couple of very big outings for him. See some of the particulars. He was the Padres' 33rd overall pick in 2012, and then for a few hours went to the Dodgers. Thought he would be a Dodger for a little bit and then was traded to the Phillies in the Jimmy Rollins deal. He is one of those arms that will teeter between either AA or AAA this year, most likely AAA. In fact, Joe Jordan, who's out in Reading, Pennsylvania, shared with some of the members of the media where some of the players would be. We know that J.P. Crawford's going to start in AA. We know Roman Quinn, who's in the lineup tonight, will start in AA. We also know that Jorge Alfaro, who's in the lineup tonight, will start as the catcher for the Reading Fightins. And then in AAA, Andrew Knapp, who we'll see as well this weekend, will be the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs catcher.
A lot of emphasis really isn't put on whether you win ball games or you lose ball games. It's all about development in the minor leagues. But these guys are going to win some ball games with the pitching staff that they've assembled at the AAA level, alongside with the pitching staff at the AA level. Guys can swing the bats. I think you're going to see a lot of W's for the AAA and the AA level.
All right, so we're going to talk about a lot of those prospects during the course of this weekend. Obviously, the two futures games are sandwiched around the Orioles game tomorrow night. Genmar Gomez, who's only pitched in 6 games this spring, will get the start for the Phils tonight. Probably go 1, possibly 2, and then Zach Eflin will start for the Phillies futures. Well, it's a gorgeous night in Reading, Pennsylvania. Roman Quinn is so used to playing the outfield out in Reading. It's okay for him. Nick Williams got used to it last year. He also got some ABs with the big club this spring. Michael Franco off a great spring. Cousins has light tower power. We'll get to the lineups and first pitch when we come back.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com.
Nemours opening day with free commemorative caps Monday.
That the folks in Reading, Pennsylvania is 50 years old. In fact, this will be the 50th season. So this is one of the reasons why the Phillies wanted to go back to Reading and celebrate that. The Fanatic, of course, is there. He's made the trip back from Clearwater. He's got a new ATV. Ryan Howard was there signing some autographs. He's not in the starting lineup tonight. He obviously has an affinity to the Phillies farm system, the Phillies farm system teams, because he has come up through the farm system. We said it's a gorgeous night. They've got the field in perfect shape. Dan Douglas, the groundskeeper, does an incredible job. And look, it is packed in Reading, Pennsylvania, as they introduce the Philadelphia Phillies. They've already introduced the Phillies futures. Larry Boa, Mickey Morandini, both got great rounds of applause. Juan Samuel as well. These are guys that played for the Phils in the big club, but also Reading's been around so long that they have gone through the system and have played for the Reading Phillies, now the Reading Fighters.
It still has to be a thrill for these guys going back to Reading. It's such a great city, such a great ballpark. You look at it's just in pristine condition.
It's always been one of the great places in minor league baseball. Well, tonight's national anthem, as Genmar Gomez warms up in the bullpen, will be performed by bassist Gerald Veasley. And this has got to be a thrill for somebody like Gerald to play in front of a capacity crowd with the umpires walking out, with the temperatures rising, which means that baseball is right around the corner. And we are just a few minutes away from the start of tonight's game. But now, tonight, the national anthem from Reading, Pennsylvania, before the start of this ball game.
And as we honor the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the third base side in front of the picnic area for tonight's honorary color guard, the United States Navy and Sea Cadets. They're located in Morton, Pennsylvania, under the direction of Lieutenant Commander Adrian M. Cook. And now, as part of the Moscow's first Jazz Fest taking place throughout Greater Reading over the next 10 days, please welcome world-renowned contemporary jazz musician and proud Philadelphia native, Gerald Veasley, who will perform our national anthem.
Well, it sounds like Gerald Beasley has done that before. A great rendition of the national anthem here in Reading, Pennsylvania, as we set a beautiful night for baseball. The umpires are at home plate, meeting with the respective managers. That's Dusty Wathan. He's the Reading Fightins manager. He was the Eastern League Manager of the Year. He's back again this year as the skipper, and he's in line, if he has a good season, to become the all-time winningest manager in Reading Fightins history. Of course, Pete Mackanin exchanging the lineup cards for his Phils. So baseball is upon us from the Northeast. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll get you all set for the first pitch from Reading, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, as the Reading Fightins, or the Reading Future, excuse me, the Phillies Futures will get set to take on the big club in just a few moments. It's First Energy Stadium in Reading, PA. They just threw out the ceremonial first pitches. There were 4 different ones. David Montgomery was the first. He threw to Carlos Ruiz. Matt Klentak was the second. He threw to Cameron Rupp. Cameron and Carlos both played for the Reading Phillies, now the Reading Fightins. And then Pete Mackanin, who also was part of the Phillies system as a ball player. And then Joe Jordan. That's Scott Hunsinger, who's the general manager of the Reading Fightins. I've known Scott since 1994 when I was in the Eastern League, and he does as good a job as anybody in minor league baseball. And if you have not been out to a Reading Fightins game, take the trip, because it is an event every single time they play a baseball game, and their opener is next Thursday. It's a great place, great stadium. They always have seemingly some type of giveaway or some deal with the concessions. Right. So they know how to do it there in Reading. All right, so we are just about ready to start tonight's ball game. The Phillies Futures will play a 7-inning game tonight against the Phils, and then Saturday is scheduled to be a 9-inning game at Citizens Bank Park. You see Zach Eflin, he's in the dugout. He is all warmed up and ready to go. Temperature all throughout the Delaware Valley today was fantastic. I mean, it was baseball weather. It's going to cool off a little bit tonight out in Reading, but it's still a very comfortable evening to get the baseball season started here in the Northeast. Mickey Morandini, who played for the Reading Phillies, is going to be on the coaching lines at first for the Phils. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies, brought to you by Xfinity. The new Xfinity X1 is the way to go. Leading it off at shortstop, Freddie Galvis. Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman, bats second. Odubel Herrera will hit third, followed by Michael Franco. Cedric Hunter, who's still looking for some ABs to make this team, is in left field. He'll bat fifth. Darren Ruff sixth. In the bottom third of Will Venable, Peter Borges, and J.P. Arancibia, who will do the catching tonight for the Phils. Well, there is Zach Eflin beginning his warm-up tosses. He'll be throwing to Jorge Alfaro here tonight. Eflin last year with Reading in Double-A was 8-6 with an ERA of 3.69. J.P. Crawford will start the game for the Futures at shortstop. And Eflin, as we saw during spring training, Ben, he's a hard thrower. He's a high-energy guy. He's a big kid at 6'6", 215 pounds. Again, a 2012 first-round pick by the San Diego Padres. And those are his numbers in spring. And I thought in his outings, he actually looked quite electric.
He did look very, very good. And you know me, Tom, I'm all about fastball command, and that's what I like about this youngster. As we take a look at the scouting report for Zach Eflin, 89/95. Cutter, change, and a slider. And as we discussed in the open, he was acquired for number 11, Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, the Phillies at that point were starting to trade some of their veterans and get some arms in return, and Eflin was one of those guys who came in return. Second baseman is Scott Kingery. The third baseman is Matt Walding. First baseman is Brock Stassi, who we saw a lot during spring training. I think we were all very impressed with his defense and also the way the ball jumped off his bat when he got some ABs. Roman Quinn, who's played most of the year last year in Reading, but then went down with an injury, will be in Reading again. There is Matt Walding playing third. Freddie Galvis will lead things off for the Phillies. Well, for the fans of the Reading Phillies, it's not too far to go to Philadelphia, so they come to the games quite often. But this is a thrill to see the Philadelphia Phillies, the 50-year affiliate in Double-A, play a baseball game in Reading, Pennsylvania, and we are underway in the first pitch, a fastball that's driven right in there. It's no balls and one strike.
And one thing you'll notice about Zach Eflin right away is how quickly he works on the mound.
That's one of the things that Joe Jordan's talked about, is tempo. And I think we saw it with some of the young pitchers that came up to the big leagues this year in spring training. On the inside corner, according to home plate umpire John Harrington. Freddie has not had a strong spring. He's 11 for 57, hitting a .193. And he lifts that one in the air to center field. Roman Quinn casually backpedals. And what away.
Ball really kind of got in on Freddie, but still decent enough to get a little bit more barrel than I expected on that fastball inside and drive out to center field. Yes, the wind is blowing out, as you can see from the flags, but not a bad at bat by Freddie.
Well, with one away, that'll bring Cesar Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez hit .328 this spring. He had a good spring. He was pretty consistent. The ball was jumping off his bat. Again, this is a 7-inning ball game tonight out in Reading. Tomorrow, the Phillies will play the Orioles at Citizens Bank Park, and then the Futures again on Saturday afternoon. Foul tip, but it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not only do I think this is just a tremendous idea to have this game, but I think it's a tremendous idea to keep it to 7 innings. For the simple fact that the Phillies just flew in last night. We were on the plane with them. We got in late and have to trek out to Reading, and it's, you know, it makes for a long turnaround for these players. And I think to do it for 7 innings, I think it's just enough.
John Harrington is calling the balls and strikes. Louis Cello is at first. Mike Giacomo is at second, and Terry Spratt around at third. Now, these are not minor league umpires. These are local umpires who get a chance to call balls and strikes out in Reading, Pennsylvania. 3-1 pitch coming to Hernandez. And that's rocketed foul down the left field line. Look out, boys. Folks have to do a little dancing down there in the bullpen. A lot of minor league facilities have the bullpens down the lines in left and right field. Little foul ball.
And not a whole lot of those left. You have Wrigley Field. I can think of one right off the top. Oakland. San Francisco. Believe it or not, the new ballpark, Petco in San Diego, they actually forgot about the bullpens and decided just to make way out in center field somewhere.
Well, that's what happened in San Francisco, too. And, you know, in San Diego, they at least had space to do it. In San Francisco, they had no more space to do it.
No, they didn't.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Cesar Hernandez. He'll be followed by Odubel Herrera. And a changeup low, so Cesar is aboard. A 1-out walk. It turned out to be an 8-pitch at bat by Cesar. And that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. Now, the folks in Reading have never seen Odubel Herrera in person if they haven't come to see a Phillies game, because he came up through the Rangers organization. But I would think that if you haven't seen him before, watching his BP, watching him dancing around, it's kind of a sight to behold.
It sure is. very energetic. Use a litany of adjectives for Odubel, but I think energetic is a good one.
He is 6 for his last 15 this spring. Takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Just has that flair about him. You can tell. What thing I really enjoy about him is he loves playing baseball, and I think it's expressed through the way he performs on the field and his mannerisms.
Now, he probably, I mean, it's going to be Franco probably batting third. Would you agree to start the season? Pete has not tipped his hand yet as far as what his lineup is going to look like. But I guess they could have Odubel bat third and have Franco bat cleanup. I still would like to see Odubel bat leadoff because I just think he was such an asset there last year.
As do I.
Inside, 1-1.
It's a challenge for them. They've never faced off against these players before, you know? Yep.
2 balls and 1 strike to Odubel Herrera with Cesar over at first. Jorge Alfaro doing the catching here tonight. We'll see. We might see Andrew Knapp at some point tonight, but we'll certainly see him on Saturday.
Yes.
As they sort of reverse fields. I don't know if Cesar is interested in testing Jorge Alfaro's arm, but it would be kind of neat to see.
It would, and he's got a pretty good lead there on first base.
Up high, 3 balls and 1 strike. You think Eflin's amped at all for this start?
Of course he is. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you're a big leaguer. I'll show you.
I thought in his first appearance in spring training he looked a little amped. You know, I mean, as you would imagine, for a lot of the younger players.
And sometimes as a pitcher, when you're that amped, you have that adrenaline going, you will miss up in the zone. Typically, or ideally, you'd like to miss down in the zone.
That ball is pulled deep to right field. Forget about it. Odubel Herrera off the top of the Wawa sign. A 2-run rocket. And the Phillies take a 2-0 lead over their future stars.
That was a missile. Man alive. That's what happens. You work yourself into a good count, 3-1 count. Big league hitters are not going to miss that pitch very often. You can see there, I mean, Odubel will let you know with the bat flip, but that is a short, compact swing there for Odubel Herrera.
Of course he had a bat flip.
Leading all spring trainers.
So it's 2-0 Phillies. Here's Franco who takes a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
He follows up with a first pitch breaking ball.
Might as well.
Filthy.
Another curveball. That one is hung and hit deep to left field. Going over to the corner is Williams, and he makes the running grab. That one he hit just toward the end of the bat.
Yeah, I think he's going to need a new one for his second at bat, but it was a hanger, and Michael just a hair out in front.
Now batting for the Phillies, number 64.
So 2 away, and here is Cedric Hunter as you watch this curveball. Nice track by Nick Williams to get to it.
It was just a different sound than the one Odubel hit.
Here is Cedric Hunter. And Hunter rips one into right field, and that'll drop in front of Cousins. I don't know if Cousins saw that off the bat that well, but it's a 2-out single. And the Phils keep the inning alive here at the top of the first.
I think he was making sure he didn't get hurt on that liner.
It was a sinker once it left the bat. Darren Ruff got a nice round of applause when he was introduced with the starting lineups. Gets one here. He had one of those months to remember when he played for the Reading Phillies, that month of August, which essentially got him a call up to the big leagues in September several years ago. Very comfortable in this ballpark.
I don't remember if
And Eflin is throwing a buffet of breaking pitches to these last few hitters. Not a bad idea, I guess, to get them off the fastball, but.
Plus, he wants to work on things that he's going to have to do as the season begins for Zach Eflin as well, whether that be in AA or AAA.
A little high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can see, though, the way the ball comes out of his hand, which is nice. He's perfect frame for a pitcher, 6'6". And I think he does get good follow through, good extension down past his left leg.
Ground ball toward the hole, picked up by J.P. Crawford. His throw is high, and Stassi could not get back to the bag. I don't know if Walding, diving or not, threw off J.P. Crawford, but he did have plenty of time. And we'll see how they score it.
Now batting for the Phillies, number 85.
That's something where a young player like J.P. Crawford have to know who's running. You have to know your runner. Hey, do I have time? Maybe I can plant myself and put a little bit extra on it, or do I have to rush my throw?
I thought he may backhand it too, although he did have time to get in front of it. They scored E6 because he did have time to throw out Darren Ruff.
The proper call.
Will Venable just signed a few days ago by the Phillies. Had 1 hit in yesterday's last spring training game. Fights that one off into left field, and it'll drop for a base hit. Rounding third and heading for home is Cedric Hunter. He'll score. Going to second base is Venable. And the throw gets away. And coming home is Darren Ruff as the throw gets past Alfaro. And the Phillies have scored 4 runs here in the first inning. And there's going to be an assortment of errors on that. Give 1 RBI to Venable on the bloop to left. And then he's going to go all the way to third.
And this all starts by not hitting your cutoff man. You see no chance there to get Cedric Hunter. But he hit the cutoff man. Will Venable is going to be out at dead duck at second base because he never stopped going around the bag at first.
By the way, Venable did not go over to third, so he's still at second. Here is Borges. And Borges waves over top of a breaking ball. Borges 286 during the spring. Slider outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive the opposite way. That'll drop in for a base hit. A big hop, and Cousins is able to handle it. Will Venable will score sliding, and it's now 5-0 Phillies on top.
Well, this Gray team is really swinging the bats, Tom.
Well, it's kind of a carryover from spring training.
With the exception of Will Venable's bloop to left, these balls are smoked. Good, solid contact. All you can do is hit it hard, Tom. That's your main objective as a hitter. Hit the ball hard. After that, it's out of your control. But these balls are drilled.
Now, here's the thing, Ben. You know, you see 28 pitches for Eflin. Talking to Dusty Wathan earlier today, he said the plan is that Mark Appel will pitch after Eflin. And I said, Dave Lundquist is already out talking to Eflin. I said, so will that mean you're not going to use anybody else? He said, the only reason we would use somebody else is if one of the pitchers got into trouble. And in this case, Eflin is in a little bit of trouble.
He is in a little bit of trouble, but you also have to realize he should have been out of this inning. So you don't like to put it all on him.
Well, this is what got it started. Odubel Herrera going down and getting one.
What a quick bat. Right over the Wawa cup.
I wonder if he hit the cup, if he would have won a cup of coffee.
I will say the cup of coffee I had today from Wawa was better than the cup of coffee in Florida from that Wawa. It's got to be the water, Tom.
I was going to say there has to be a theory that you're going to advance to us. Off the hands to Aaron Sebia. Slow roller to second. Kingery will throw him out. The inning comes to a close. 5 runs, though, score for the Phils. We'll go to the bottom of the first. It's the Phillies 5. The Futures coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Futures starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Roman Quinn leads it off at center, then J.P. Crawford and Nick Williams. Rhys Hoskins is the DH today. Dylan Cousins in right field will bat fifth. Jorge Alfaro sixth. Stassi, Kingery, and Mitch Walding, the bottom third. They will face Phillies relief pitcher Genmar Gomez. Gomez, as it turns out, is the only guy left standing from last year's bullpen for the Phils, essentially. He pitched in 6 games during the spring, an ERA of 1.50. And he's probably going to pitch an inning. He could pitch 2 today. It just depends on how quickly he gets through the first inning of work.
Depends on that pitch count. You might see him extend into that second inning. Especially you get some of these younger guys. If we take a look at the scouting report for Genmar, 86 to 90. You might see a bit higher than 90. Slider, changeup has been his very good pitch, and when he's down, he will induce a ton of ground balls.
So he'll face Roman Quinn to start it off. Quinn, Phillies saw in spring training this year, hit 320 at-bats during the spring games before he was sent down. Now his success did not carry over in the minor league games, and he'll start the year in Double-A. Off speed pitch, and it's 0-2.
Just hope he is able to keep those legs healthy, because his game is at tops when he can run, and pulling a quad muscle like he did last year obviously is going to affect his game tremendously.
And he's down on strikes, so Gomez right into the chute, showing off that off-speed pitch. And what away here in the bottom of the first.
And that's why I think he might get into the second inning, depending on how it goes, because a lot of younger hitters, they will be very aggressive early in counts. He might get some quick outs, but that was a just very well-located changeup by Genmar Gomez. As I said, that's his go-to pitch.
Well, here's J.P. Crawford. So this could be the 1 and 2 in the Reading Titans lineup again this year. Crawford, as we mentioned during the open tonight, when you think about prospects on paper, he is the #1 prospect for the Phillies. Now, a lot of that is based on tools. A lot of that is based on scouts' assessments, and a lot of it is really based on his progress, because he's had a decent progression through the Phillies system. And it looks like they're keeping the same pattern, Ben, that they've had the last couple of years. And Pete Mackanin kind of talked about this earlier this spring. Not rushing him. It's not like they need him to play shortstop now. Start the year at one level. After having success, which is what he's had the last 2 years, you move him up to the next level. And in this case, they can move him right up to the big leagues.
They could, but let's not lose sight of the fact that,
right back to the box. Gomez has got it.
Not lose sight of the fact that we have a pretty darn good one at the big league level right now with Freddie Galvis, and you never know what could happen.
I thought you were going to say don't lose sight of the baseball as it was coming back at Genmar Gomez.
Oh. I'll get your heart going.
2 away, 6 pitches for Genmar.
L1. Don't see that very often.
That'll bring Nick Williams to the plate. Williams got indoctrinated into the Reading culture last year. Played 22 games in the regular season and then the postseason. Ground ball to second base. Backhanded nicely by Cesar. And a 7-pitch inning for Genmar Gomez. So he may come back out for a second.
He's going back out, Tom.
4-3 on the putout. And the futures go down 1-2-3.
All right, fans, it's time for tonight's
Ball town in the background, right underneath the 405 sign in center field, or the 400 sign. My eyes are going. Freddie Galvis leads it off, sends it in the air to left center field. It's deep and it's not coming back. Under the scoreboard, it's the second home run of the night for the Phils, and they lead it 6-0.
We saw a ball just barely get in on Freddie his first at bat. The wind definitely blowing out, but that ball was covered. Good swing there.
Now batting for the Phillies, second baseman Cesar.
Got to make Freddie feel good.
That's his first home run of the spring. He had 3 doubles. Those are the extra base hits. So here we go. Look at this swing.
Quick bat. Quick bat. Ball elevated up out over the plate. What I really liked about that swing is how connected he stayed with his back elbow. Didn't get around the baseball, stayed through it, and really drove it.
No balls and 1 strike to Cesar Hernandez, who walked his first time up. 0-2. Cesar walked and scored. And that's just a bit inside.
Tom, I got to say that the boxes on your score sheet are bigger than the ones I generally use. I like it.
That's because I write some notes in the bottom of those boxes. That one's chopped out to short. J.P. Crawford takes care of Cesar Hernandez.
You do write notes on it, but I'm just saying there's more space for myself to write.
Got to have a feel for this stuff, Ben.
I like it. I like it.
One away for Odubel Herrera. Odubel with a 2-run home run in the first. That one's pulled sharply toward the hole, and Kingery gets to it, but he'll have no play over at first. And that'll be a base hit. I don't know even if Eflin had gotten off the mound quickly, if they had any chance to get Odubel, because if he sees hit, he's not going to just waltz up the line.
No, hitters smell hits, especially those with wheels. There's no way.
Nice range, though, by Kingery. Kingery, who the Phillies selected last year out of the University of Arizona, was the Pac-12 offensive leader in batting average and hits. And if you talk to Joe Jordan, who's the director of player development for the Phillies, they love Scott Kingery. Looks like he'll probably start in Clearwater this year. As Maikel Franco hits one through the hole on the left side. Phillies have runners on first and second. Well, opening day presented by Nemours will be on Monday, April 11th. That's the home opener at Citizens Bank Park, a week after the Phillies kick off the season in Cincinnati. And all fans coming to the ballpark will see the Phillies commemorative opening day cap. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Cedric Hunter is the batter. He singled his first time up. Breaking ball. Now, I mentioned before that Cedric is looking for a couple of extra at-bats to prove that he possibly could make this team. Do you think that's true, or do you think that he has a spot on the opening day roster? Oof. He just shattered his bat, and J.P. Crawford will make the catch. Infield fly rule was called.
I would like to think that Pete Mackanin and his coaching staff have their mind made up with regards to who's going to be on the final 25-man roster, but these bats might mean something. I would think that they know, but you never know. That is, I don't even think that ball got high enough to be an infield fly.
I don't know. The home plate umpire put his hand up then.
He did, but maybe he was just pointing out to J.P. Crawford where the ball was.
People helping people. 2 away. Here's Darren Ruff. You just see the line on Eflin. Oh. And Ruff drills one deep to left field. Time it. It's gone. Wow. Darren Ruff with a 3-run home run. It's 9-0. Phillies on top. I mean, that ball got out in seconds.
Exit velocity.
Well, it took 3 seconds, but in reality, you knew once it left Darren Ruff's bat, it was gone.
We talked about the aggressiveness of the futures, but the last 4 hitters, 3 of the last 4 hitters have swung at the first pitch, scored 3 runs, and Cedric Hunter swung at the second pitch and popped up. You see Will Venable going after the first pitch, so the Phillies are being very aggressive themselves.
Outside, 1-1. Well, and you saw where that home run went into that that sort of porch out in left field.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the tiki bar for most of the spring.
Yes.
Frenchie's down in Clearwater. That is their rendition of the tiki bar.
Okay.
Will Venable sends one to left field. Nick Williams is there, puts it away. And the side is retired. 4 runs though score. 3 on the home run by Darren Ruff. Phillies lead the Futures 9-0. Years ago is when the folks in Reading decided to put a pool in, and it was met with a huge embrace by the youngsters in the Reading area. And then this year, what they've decided to add are the dugout suites. Now, the tickets for these dugout suites, I found this remarkable, and this is what's great about minor league baseball. $25 individual tickets, so you can buy it and you get a chance to sit right on the field, essentially, at First Energy Stadium. And it's down the first base line.
It's just good marketing.
It's great marketing. That's one of the things that sets them aside and has for a long time. We start the bottom of the second. Rhys Hoskins will lead it off. Takes outside. Hoskins last year, 68 games in Lakewood, 67 games in Clearwater, 59 extra base hits in the minor leagues.
90 RBIs in the minor leagues. That's a joke.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Now he is a first baseman, DHing tonight. Now to put that in perspective, Ben's talking about the 90 RBIs. That's in 142 regular season games in the minor leagues.
So that's 20 less. You put up 90 stakes in the big leagues. That's a great season. You do it in 20 less games. That really is a feat.
Now Hoskins followed that up. You know, he had 17 home runs, 9 and 8, depending on, 9 in Clearwater and 8 in Lakewood. He followed that up by going to Sydney this offseason, the Australian Winter Leagues. And he continued to hit .323 with 8 home runs. Takes a little low, 3-1. Oh, a huge crowd tonight here in Reading. As expected, a sold-out crowd. Three and two. Got a good hack with the count, 3-1.
He did. Kind of an exaggerated leg kick there, but he gets his foot down on time. That's where that late movement of Jemar Gomez comes in. You get a 3-1 pitch, you're thinking sitting dead red. You get the heater you're looking for, and the bottom just falls out enough where you just nick it.
That one is pulled foul. Look out. Dusty Watson had a duck out of the way. Rick Kranitz in the bullpen picked it up. Hoskins is from Sacramento, California. He went to Cal State Sacramento. That's where the Phillies selected him in the 5th round in 2014. Hits that one off his foot.
Cal State Sacramento.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just 23 years old. In fact, we'll say this guy's 22, this guy's 23. I mean, there's a lot of young prospects playing in this game tonight. Over toward third, backing up on it is Franco. He let it play him, and it goes into left fields. Breakfast on Broad is counting down to their 1-year anniversary with a 10-day giveaway. Today, you have the chance to win a gift basket created by Rob Ellis. Enter now on Facebook at Bob on TCN. Can't believe that Rob had the ability to put together a gift basket. What do you think it had in it?
I don't know.
Dylan Cousins, the batter, takes outside.
You can see the size of Dylan Cousins. I was watching him take batting practice. He got called up the other day. I was behind the cage watching with Charlie Manuel. I said, Chuck, this guy. He goes, you got some power.
Yeah, Pete Buchanan saw him for a couple of at-bats this spring, a couple of plate appearances. He was 0 for 1. And I remember coming back from one of my basketball games, and I said hello to Pete. He said, hey, have you seen this Cousins kid hit? And it was the batting practice that you were talking about.
Guys can hit home runs down the lines, but if you can go dead center in batting practice off the batter's eye, he hit a couple out dead center that almost went over the batter's eye.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1.
See, he's got the size, but the point of contact, he gets it all going.
Used to have helmets that didn't have the air flap at all.
It's a foul tip, and it's 2-2.
Like, I remember,
See Emmanuel Burrs there at first base. Darren Ruff. He had a very strenuous game to Darren Ruff.
How to play again. It remains 2-2. Yeah, Darren exits after 2 at-bats, 2 runs scored.
3-run homer.
3-run home run. That's all.
That's it.
In the air to right center field. That ball was crushed, and it is gone. And that's what we're talking about with Dylan Cousins. A 2-run home run, and the futures are on the board. Get used to it, Redding. He will be playing right field for the Titans this year. I mean, you talk about extension.
Extension, and again, the hitter will let you know. You watch the reaction here by Darryl Cousins. That is just brute strength. And where did it go? Dead center. And how much of a benefit, and just a plus as a hitter, knowing that you don't have to pull the ball to hit a home run. To be able to let the ball travel, let it get deep, knowing, you know what, if he beats me a little bit, I can still go opposite field. I can still go dead center.
Alfaro hits one back toward the middle, backhanded by Hernandez. It's a nice play, 1 away. So Genmar Gomez is allowed 2 runs in this inning. And then gets the ground ball. And that'll bring Brock Stassi to the plate. He should get a nice round of applause.
First baseman, Brock Stassi.
Eastern League MVP a season ago. Six for 25 during the spring with a couple RBIs before he was sent down to the minor leagues. Beyond that, Pete McCadden saw some great defense from Brock Stassi over at first.
I believe the one game I actually compared him to Rico Brogna, who was as good a first baseman I think the Phillies have ever had.
And Rico was there that day.
Really?
He was.
Rico could flat out pick it.
I think that's a good comparison, though, defensively. Now, Rico could hit, too.
He could. He could.
Stassi, since he's changed the way he approaches the ball, has really put together solid numbers, too.
What time is it?
That one's in the air toward the right field line, and Cesar Hernandez will make the... Oh, he dropped the ball. He and Borges sort of grazed each other, and Stassi, running the whole way, gets the second base. It looked like Cesar was under it. Now, it is the outfielder's ball. If he calls it, I couldn't tell whether Borges called it or not.
It's just easier for Borges just to come in here and make this play as Cesar is backtracking on his heels. But there just definitely needs to be some better communication there. Hopefully get that ironed out before April the 4th.
So a runner at second base, 2 runs in. Borges will go back to right field. Cesar goes back to his spot at second. Here is Kingery. His numbers last year at Lakewood. He also stole 11 bases, was caught just once. Maikel Franco. Look how fast he got up the line. They call him out even though the ball dropped out of the glove of Burris. They said it was in the exchange. Another 2 outs. And now Mitch Walding's coming up.
And they did give Maikel Franco an error, correct, on Rhys Hoskins' ball?
From what we gathered, yes. Walding last year 233 in Clearwater, former 5th-round pick in 2011. That one's out towards center field. Odubel Herrera is there. And the side is retired. However, the Futures do score 2 on a 2-run home run by Dylan Cousins. We'll head to the 3rd. It's 9-2. Phillies on top. Part of a weekend series against the Washington Nationals. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. It's brought to you by Citizens Bank and the Fanatic Flare Hair Visor, free to kids 14 and under who come to the ballpark. On to the 3rd. Eflin continues. They're waiting for the Fanatic to get his ATV off the field.
Do you think that is a new ATV, or do you think it is on lease?
I think it's on loan from the Reading Fight.
On loan, okay.
Yeah. Borges skies one foul, and it's 0-1.
Because I would have to think if the Fanatic were to get a new ATV, it would be red.
I would concur. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. All right, Eflin trying to settle in. He's allowed the 5 runs in the first, the 4 runs in the second. It hasn't all been his fault. But a couple of long balls have hurt his outing. Mark Appel is warming up for the Futures. We saw that Ernesto Frieri was warming up for the Phillies. Upstairs, 1-2. I know you were trying to go through your memory bank before the ball game about the times that you played an exhibition game in the affiliate's hometown.
Yes.
As Borges strikes out. What is it like? I know when I was in Trenton, we hosted the Red Sox one year, and it was incredible. I can only imagine how it feels for the people in Reading to have the Phillies there.
It's a great thrill for them, for the players, and basically it's all going to come down to the weather. You know, it's a big thrill for these guys to go back, and if anything, it's going to help them realize how great it is to be a major leaguer. You don't have to go back to the bus rides and the bad spreads, but you get to play in great ballparks like here in Reading.
Here's the thing. I think the spreads you have to put in perspective. I mean, some of them are really good. It's just they may not be good for you. JP Arencibia lines one to left field on one hop to Nick Williams. So 1-out single here in the third. I will say, though, and Dusty Wathan was telling me about this today, that if you are going to play in a minor league ballpark, and Dallas Green knows that. You see Dallas there sitting in front of Joe Jordan. If you're going to play in a minor league ballpark, this is the place to play.
Yes.
Lehigh Valley's the same way. Lakewood is the same way. Williamsport, we've been out to their dinners for the last few years, and that's a great place. If you look at the playing field, you see the gold on the mound commemorating the 50th anniversary of the affiliation. This grass, it's always been, to me, one of the prettiest places in minor league baseball.
Just beautiful.
Dan Douglas, I mentioned, is the head groundskeeper there. Dirt, they call him Dirt.
Well, to have a field in this condition on March 31st in Pennsylvania, it's pretty darn good.
Yeah. You mean your grass doesn't look this good?
No.
This is Freddie Galvis with his home run his last time up.
Opposite field. Good swing there by Freddie. Good for Freddie. This is his third at bat in the third inning.
Yeah, I think he needs these at bats too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not, somebody up there throwing 88, 89. This is a guy who's throwing in the low to mid 90s.
Get you ready. See a breaking ball here by Zach.
That one gets away from Alfaro. And up to second base will go Aaron Sebia.
Jorge a bit slow moving to his right there on that breaking ball. I think that'll go down as a pass ball.
I would agree.
Ball never touched the dirt.
Why the microphone's here? It's for the TV.
And normally, Tom, you know me, I side with the catchers.
They want it.
I like the fact that you're realistic, though.
And honest.
Honesty is your best policy, Ben. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Galvis. That one's lined out to right center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Another run will score as Freddie will hold up at first. Aaron Sebia crosses the plate easily. And it's now 10-2. Phil's on top.
This is really just a good exhibition by these Phillies. Very good swings, some good at bats. They're stringing together. Obviously don't like to see Zach Eflin getting touched up like he is, but to the Phillies, to the offense, their credit, they are putting some good at bats together.
Hey, Dubre Ramos was warming up as well. Cesar Hernandez skies one to left center. That's well hit, and it is gone. Under the scoreboard again. A 2-run home run, 3rd home run of the night for the Phillies. Actually, 4th home run of the night for the Phillies. And they tack on a couple more.
Another first pitch swing there by Cesar Hernandez. Drives it out to left field, much like Freddie did his last at bat.
Opposite field power has been evident tonight for these little guys.
He just gets this ball elevated and drives it out to left field. Another ball that's up.
Well, it is one of those games for Zach Eflin. There's Odubel Herrera.
Just assume him get this out of the way now than during the regular season. But they are on everything. The line drive to right field that Freddie Galvis hit, yeah, it was a breaking ball. It was up, but the timing is what I like to see. They're right on time with pretty much everything.
Breaking ball on the outside corner. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Odubel's 2 for 2. 2 runs scored. Out of play, it's 2-2. He's not happy about that. He thought he missed a pitch there. It's almost the same spot that his home run pitch was.
I think Odubel's homer had a little bit more elevation to it, but that got out in a hurry. Not as fast as Darren Ruff's, but it wasn't far behind.
Not as fast, you're right, but it was pretty close. Curveball out towards center field, and Roman Quinn will glide under it. 2 outs. Here is Odubel Herrera's home run. Go ahead, Ben, time it.
3-1 pitch. 1, 2, 3. 3.5.
I think you were going a little slow with your count, but it was out.
I was trying to prove a point, Tom.
It did get out pretty quickly. There's Maikel Franco, who singled his last time up. Franco takes a strike. It's 0-1. Tapper foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Interesting reading some of the articles about Franco. He was asked about whether he's surprised by the home runs that he's hit, the RBIs, and he said, I'll be honest with you, I am. He said, but now my goal is to keep going with what I'm doing so I can carry it over to the start of the regular season.
As long as he can continue to make these adjustments.
0-2 pitch. And he's down on strikes. A foul tip. And the side is retired. Well, if that's Eflin's last batter, he threw a little gas to get Maikel Franco. He allowed 3 more runs, another home run. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Papa John's. The day after every Phillies win, get 50% off regular menu price pizzas using the promo code Phillies online at papajohns.com. And buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy rights. Bottom of the 3rd in Reading, Pennsylvania, where the Phillies lead it 12-2. They've hit 4 home runs against their futures. Phillies have a new pitcher about to take over for Genmar Gomez. It'll be Ernesto Frieri who will step in.
The way this wind is blowing, I'd love to know how many dozens of baseballs that the Phillies went through today.
During batting practice?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, even the kids, too. I mean, Cousins, we saw his home run. Ow. As Roman Quinn hits one right on the chin of Aaron Sebia. Changes for the Phils, just in case you are keeping score at home. Borges moves from right field to center field, and Tyler Goodell is now in right field. inside and low, 1-1. I don't know if you've noticed anything with Frieri, Ben, but Bob McClure has said that they've tinkered with his motion a little bit. Works from the stretch. You see what he's done during spring. They've tinkered with his motion, and they feel like he's gotten more velocity. As Roman Quinn sends one over the head of Peter Borges and out of the ballpark. His second home run in spring training. He hit one earlier as a member of the Phillies.
That was another just seed. They may have to change the name of First Energy to Reading International. This place is like an airport tonight. Roman Quinn, not very big in stature, but a very good swing. Compact, strong.
They do stuff like
Here's J.P. Crawford. Crawford takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
And to answer your question, Tom, getting back to Frieri, I know it sounds silly, but his arm just seems like it's quicker. Like he's more, it's like he's more loose. His windup, maybe it's something they did with his windup, but it just seems like he's either hiding the ball a little bit better, but the ball's just coming out of his hand hotter.
Pitching for the Phillies, number 41, Ernesto Frieri.
And a strike 3 called as Crawford's down looking. It's interesting just watching, and I don't know this for a fact because Bob didn't divulge what they did, but it almost looks like he's turning a little bit more, so his arm is then able to catch up with his body or go with his body.
Yeah, he's definitely not rushing out there. He still has a little bit of a crossfire throwing across his body, but it just seems like he has more whip on that arm. Could have been the slightest little thing as well.
Nick Williams takes a changeup, and it's 0-1. Williams grounded out his first time up. That is a mile high. It'll be back into the seats.
Like Nick Williams' swing a lot. Can tend to get a little bit long back in the swing, but what I really like is extension through the ball. He's long after he gets to contact.
You know, it was unfortunate. I thought he finished up well with the Phillies this spring. Then he went down to the minor league camp in the Carpenter Complex, and like a lot of guys, got sick. You know, we had that cold or flu that was going through the major league clubhouse. Then it went through the minor league clubhouse. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good play there by J.P. Arancibia. Go and block that slider in the dirt.
It's the downside of being right behind home plate.
Check swing. Did he go? They appeal. And no swing. Ernesto Frieri, you saw his sort of reaction. He thought he did go. That was a pretty good pitch.
It was. Doubled up with that slider in the dirt. Tripled up.
That ball went in and out of the dugout. Aaron Brown was sent scattering. Cesar Hernandez, one of the 4 home runs tonight for the Phillies hitters. Williams got a pretty good battle going here.
Well, that's a tough pitch. Nick, nice job just to fight that pitch off. You're not going to do anything with it if you're just hoping to just catch enough and squirt it foul somewhere.
Arancibia thought that Williams may have offered it that. It was in tight, 3-2. How important were the trades the Phillies have made the last couple of years? Well, you look at that MLB pipeline, top prospects for the Phils. J.P. Crawford's #1. Jake Thompson's #2. He came over in the trade for Cole Hamels. Nick Williams is #3. He came over from the trade for Cole Hamels. Mark Appel is #4. Obviously the Giles trade. Jorge Alfaro's #6. And that's the Hamels trade. Seriously, if you're a catcher now, what are you throwing? I mean, he's hitting everything. He's at least getting a piece of everything.
I think you just got to keep firing fastballs. He is tardy on them. I think Nix would maybe cheat here to get to a fastball. When I say he's long in his backswing, he just, from the time he starts to he gets to contact, it seems to just be a little tardy, a little long.
Well, good at bat. Works out a walk. Talk about the top prospects. Here's the top 100. And Roman Quinn comes in at #99. Cornelius Randolph, #84. He was the top pick last year for the Phils.
Well, it's a good mixture. You have a couple pitchers on there, and you have 5 position players. So, you know, obviously pitching and defense, I always say wins championships, but you're not going to win very many championships if you don't score any runs.
Quick toss over. Williams does have good speed. He stole 13 bases last year. Down 12-3. Rhys Hoskins. Now they changed the ball. He hit the earlier to a base hit from an error to Maikel Franco. So that means you have to change the line on Genmar Gomez to both runs being earned.
Let me go ahead and do that.
You want my white out?
Oh, thanks.
On the outside corner, 0-2.
He dotted those first 2 pitches down and away. I'd just go out there one more time. See how far Rhys Hoskins will go with you.
Oh, he did go outside, although Aaron Sevilla wanted that one up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the way, in between the last inning, I don't know if you saw this or not, Ben, but the Fight and Phil's mascot race took place. We haven't had a chance to see all the mascots, although I think we did see the ostrich for a few moments, the hot dog vendor on the outside corner there. But the mascots for the Reading Fightins are Screwball, Change Up the Turtle, Looper the Hound Dog, Quack the Duck, and Bucky the Beaver.
Did not know that, but I do know that that was one heck of a slider down and away to Rhys Hoskins.
Here's Dylan Cousins, a 2-run home run his last time up. Lays off. All right, so Cousins, the Phillies signed him, and because of that, he turned down his baseball and football scholarship at the University of Arizona. Takes a strike. And the Phillies are happy because they see signs of this power.
And they should be excited. You're able to trust yourself. And went off the sign in center field.
That's a shot. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cousins.
Actually, you know what? It's a poker if you bring that up. Look at the league with Brewers going tomorrow. So I think it was in 1985. Sports Illustrated had an article about a picture.
Ground ball foul.
And about how he threw like 140 miles an hour. Yeah, and like
Cousins last year finished in Reading and went on to play winter ball in Venezuela. Hit 275 and 3 home runs in winter ball.
Words, it's called April Fools or something.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Threw him a fastball right on by him. 3 strikeouts for Ernesto Frieri. He does allow a run on the home run by Roman Quinn. On to the 4th. It's 12-3 Phils. April 12th, when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. That's part of a 4-game series. It's also a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night at Citizens Bank Park. All fans 15 and older receive the McDonald's opening night T-shirt. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Phillies lead at 12-3. Ben, I don't know if you see in the background as Edubre Ramos is warming up at the ballpark. They have Smiley and the Hatfield Dollar Dog shooter that the Fanatic uses. Well, here it's a train. The train was going by as
choo-choo.
Yeah, as Ramos was warming up. Everybody has their different personalities, man. Can't do the same thing as the big club.
All adds to the character of minor league baseball.
So Ramos takes over for Eflin, who goes 3 innings, allows 11 hits, 12 runs for Zach Eflin. He struck out 2, and he's just anxious to get his season started. Cedric Hunter will lead it off. Hunter is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. He's also popped out. And he lifts that one in the air foul. Alfaro has no idea where it is. Oh, and 1.
Cedric with a new piece of lumber from his last at bat.
Oof, good breaking pitch.
We'll see it again.
Well, that was better movement than the breaking ball we saw during the spring games, because Ramos did pitch for the big club.
That of the overhand curveball variety, which you don't really see anymore.
That one's pulled right past the diving Kingery. That's the second hit of the night for Cedric Hunter.
And that's where you as a hitter, knowing most likely you're not going to see 3 breaking balls in a row. So he gets a fastball down and shoots it up the middle. I wouldn't say you completely sell out in that situation, but the odds of you getting a fastball there are pretty darn good after seeing 2 hooks.
Well, here's Emmanuel Burris up for the first time. He came out to play first base for Darren Ruff. Burris takes inside. I am not sure what the Phillies will do with Emmanuel Burris, but he has been versatile.
Yes.
During the spring. It's that one the opposite way, and Nick Williams comes in, makes the sliding grab. One away. Pretty good actions by Nick Williams.
It's a good jump on that ball and comes in and makes the sliding catch. See how quickly he reacts to that liner. Probably didn't have to slide, but better be safe than sorry.
Will Venables 1 for 2. Takes a breaking ball in tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Venables singled his first time up and scored. Then flied out to left field.
Talk about Emmanuel Burris' versatility, though. He's seen him at first, short, second, outfield positions, and he is a switch hitter as well. So gives Pete Mackanin some options.
They may have a play on this one, although it looks like it's going to slice back into the crowd. And it remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dallas Green with the sunglasses around his neck. Joe Jordan sitting behind him with Scott Profrock. Talked to Joe today on his way out to Reading. He's very proud of this initiative that the Phillies were putting together. See David Montgomery walking down the stairs talking to him. Back in that area where you see David standing and Joe Jordan sitting and Dallas Green and Scott Profrock. He also saw for a couple innings Joe Finley, who is one of the owners of the Lakewood Blue Claws, the Phillies single-A affiliate, and the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Craig Stein, who also has a partnership with those teams and was part of the ownership group for the Reading Fightins. As Will Venable hooks one down the right field line. That's a fair ball going to the corner. Venable's got good speed. He'll lumber to second base. And coming around to score, standing, is Cedric Hunter. And it's now 13-3. Phillies on top.
Another hard hit ball, line drive down the line. Will with a nice job of just staying inside that baseball, not hooking it. I think Pete's saying might want to slide next time. But you see this ball doesn't have any hook on it. He hits through the ball. If he comes out and around it, you're going to see that ball go foul. Cousins gets to it. This play ended up being that you see the transfer there, and that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
I wasn't sure.
Peter Borges saying, hey, get down, get down, get down.
He was telling him to get down.
He didn't listen.
Then I wasn't sure if he had hurt himself when he came in. So here is Borges. Borges is 1 for 2, an RBI single, a strikeout. Ties him up. It's 0-1. One ball, 1 strike. Yeah, those dugout suites, that is a great idea. When they said they were putting them in, I was trying to picture them behind home plate, because look how low it is behind home plate. And then when the pictures actually came in where they were located down the first base line, I don't know, we don't go to many ballparks where the seating area is below ground like the dugouts. San Francisco's kind of like that. Anaheim is like that. One-two pitch, breaking ball, 2-2.
Remember in Anaheim seeing, I was with the White Sox, remember seeing Kobe Bryant come down and he was, of course, going through the back way in L.A., you know, he's got to be protected. And I saw him in the hallway there, and I said, hey, Kobe, it's Ben Davis. You know, I played against Kobe for a few years in high school when he was at Lower Merion.
How many score on you?
I don't remember.
How many did you score on him?
A few. Put it this way, he scored more than I did. But I say, hey, you know, Ben Davis, Mount Prep, and he went, I don't think you remembered me, Tom.
Well, that's because you didn't score many points against him.
But yeah, those boxes, they're great seats in Anaheim there, and they have them in San Francisco, like you said.
Here's J.P. Arancibia. Singleton scored his first time up, or last time up, I should say. And he'll be retired 5-3 on this putout. Phillies score another run. They get a couple hits, leave one, on to the bottom of the fourth. Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Well, it's a gorgeous night here in Reading, Pennsylvania, the home of the Reading Fightins. And tonight, it's the home of the Reading Fightins, or the Reading Phillies, of course, but also of the Phillies futures ends of the Philadelphia Phillies. And here's Hector Neris, who we haven't seen in the last several games, still trying to battle for a spot in the Phillies bullpen as he takes over for Ernesto Frieri. And Ben, I don't know about you, but I think it comes down to first pitch strikes, establishing his fastball, and then being able to utilize that split, that changeup. But he hasn't gotten into those counts enough this spring. And not letting hitters get back into counts, finishing them off when you have the opportunity. Whether that be with his fastball or with that good split finger that he has. Well, here's Jorge Alfaro. Alfaro saw one pitch at his first at-bat, and he grounded out. Alfaro, who the Phillies acquired from the Rangers, his high water mark of home runs is 18 and 17. Hits this one to Galvis, who makes a fantastic play, but pulls Burris off the bag. And I know it's only a small thing, but Alfaro, for a catcher, go ahead, say it, does run quite well. And this is knowing your runner, even despite Jorge Alfaro being a catcher, Tom. He does run well, and Freddie knew that and got rid of it, but just pulled Emmanuel Burris off the bag. Oh, here is Brock Stassi. Reached on an error his first time up. Hit the dirt. That one's pulled through the hole on the right side, a base hit. And up and runners on first and second with nobody out. Well, tomorrow when you come to the ballpark to see the Phils take on the Baltimore Orioles, you'll receive the DraftKings 2016 Phillies schedule magnet. You also will receive it on Wednesday, April 13th, when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. What are your tickets now? By going to Phillies.com.
Something you can hang the kids' test scores and report cards from off the fridge.
Kind of like out at Ashburn Alley, you just saw the fans grabbing some grub at the Grandstand Grill. Looks like they also had a spot for some games, an area for games out in Reading. As Scott Kingery takes low. Kingery last year made only 4 errors in about 70 games in the minor leagues. Mentioned his numbers when he was in college. He finished his junior year, that's when the Phillies drafted him last year out of Arizona, with 92 hits and 53 runs scored. He's ahead 2-0. And he fouls that one back to the screen. Cool. Fastball right there, blew it by him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is a thought that potentially down the road that Kingery and J.P. Crawford could be that double play combination for the Phillies.
Should like all that together.
Off the first base line, Burris tracking it, says he has it, and he makes the catch. 1 away.
Well, he got himself into a good count there at 2-0, but missed 3 consecutive fastballs. Definitely something you can't do as you move up the ranks.
The family getting a chance to enjoy a little baseball. Here's Mitch Walding. Walding flat out to center, his only time up. You're getting a chance to see this group of Phillies future players in this game, and you may see some changes as the game moves on, but at some point you will see Angelo Mora, Yasmiel Valentin, whose dad Jose Valentin was an excellent second baseman, third baseman for a long time. One of your teammates?
Former teammate.
White Sox?
White Sox. Yeah. We called him Whammer.
He could hit.
Paul Konerko would always say, inside that little man's body is Babe Ruth.
Also, we'll get a chance to see Mal Caneo at some point. See Alfaro at second base. Stassi's over at first. Oh, 2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire. Roman Quinn waits on deck.
Nice job there by Mitch Walding to lay off that splitter. It was very late breaking, tumbling action there. 0-2, you have to be defensive, but he really didn't even budge on that. Good pitch by Hector.
Goes back to it again. I don't know why he was able to get him this time compared to the last time.
He didn't budge on the first one, but obviously offered it that one, and that's right there. That is it in a nutshell for Hector Neris, Tom.
Here's Roman Quinn, his last time up with that home run to straightaway center field.
Definitely not a cheapie. He's got some juice.
Now, when you see him do that, do you get fearful that he'll try to do that too often, or is that just a nice short swing that results in a home run?
I think it's just a short swing that resulted in a home run. And I think one thing that the Phillies have throughout their organization is great coaching. And Dusty Wathan, guy that I've known for a lot of years, you know, if Roman starts in Double-A like they're saying, Dusty's not going to let that happen. And that's one thing I think that the Phillies are very fortunate in the fact that they have coaches that care and want to see these players perform and keep progressing through the minor league ranks.
One ball, one strike.
Yeah.
That'll slice out of play down the left field line.
I don't think it'll be a major league with Lou Brown, with Willie Mays Hayes. Every time you hit the ball in the air, you owe me 20 push-ups. I don't think it's going to turn into that.
Might be $20 now.
Yeah. Best line after that, Willie Mays, he goes, how am I supposed to hit when I can't lift my arms?
In the dirt with that splitter, it's 2-2. Hector with 16 pitches so far in this fourth inning. Phillies have already sent out his buddy Luis Garcia.
I think that was the biggest shock for me.
I was surprised myself. But he just wasn't throwing enough strikes.
No.
Roman Quinn asked for time. Roman yesterday was awarded the Bill Giles Award. Mentioned that he received that.
Presentation before the game.
Yep. Angelo Mora received the Larry Rojas Award. And Neris, with another split, is able to get another strikeout. He has 2 strikeouts in the inning, and he leaves a couple as we go to the 5th.
All that means it's time for Glenn's Thompson.
Big day coverage is only on Comcast Sportsnet. Watch the 2016 Phils start a new season against the Reds. Get live reports from Cincinnati, plus exclusive interviews and expert analysis. Get total Phillies opening day coverage Monday starting at 3, only on CSN. Top of the 5th inning, it's 13-3. Phillies on top of the Futures as Mark Appel is catching his breath behind the mound. He'll be the new pitcher for the Phils.
Now batting for the Phillies, shortstop Freddie Galvis.
And he will face Freddie Galvis. So Ramos goes an inning, allows a couple hits and 1 run. And Appel delivers one. Boy, he does have a good fastball. Did you see that ball jump?
A lot of life.
Galvis has got a couple hits tonight, including a home run the opposite way. Mark Appel was a first-round pick on 2 different occasions. On the outside corner, 1-2. This is the first time we're seeing him live. I've seen him through video before, but I didn't realize how drastic his motion was.
It's a lot of movement.
Do you think that's part of the reason why he has a little wildness in it?
I can definitely see it contributing to that.
Cesar Hernandez on deck.
I like to keep it simple, whether that be on the mound or in the box.
Outside, 2-2.
For another pitcher, just like Zach Eflin, great frame.
Oh yeah.
So he got drafted
They threw him a changeup, and Kingery at second base will throw him out. And there's one away. But you can see why he was drafted in the first round twice, because of the velocity, his build. Threw a very good changeup right there, and I think the Phillies are high on him having an opportunity to make something of himself this year.
He just threw 3 different pitches, but 3 very quality pitches there to Freddie Galvis, and yeah, I mean, you're not the #1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And twice in the first round for no reason. I mean, that's you obviously have the stuff and know how to pitch.
The other thing too about him, we have come to find out just in a short period of time that we've listened to his interviews and heard him talk, is he has got great makeup.
He does.
Again to the right side. Stassi has it. 3-1 on the putout.
And you need that to be a pitcher.
Well, Dubal Herrera hits a home run earlier in his first at-bat, a 2-run shot. Also reached on an infield hit his next time up. Pretty good swing. I think he's ready for the start of the season.
Oh, he's ready.
He's out of the game, and Tyler Goodell, who came in the last half inning defensively, will bat for the first time. Fastball. I think the Phillies are doing sort of a reconnaissance on Appel this year, just to see, what he really is like on the mounds. I don't think they'll do much tinkering to start with that motion.
Yeah, obviously he's a good player.
I think it really just comes down to if he's not effective.
Well, that ball is well hit, and it is gone. Up to the hill. 5 home runs now for the Phillies here tonight. Tyler Goodell got a pitch that was down, and he was able to handle it.
Not the best of 0-2 pitches there to Tyler Goodell. That's one Appel would like to have back. He just tries to throw it by him, and it's talk about splitting the plate. And another home run to dead center.
Maikel Franco will get another chance. Franco's 1 for 3. Outside, and it's 1-0.
But I was saying, I don't think they will tinker with those mechanics unless he starts, you see the walks start to go up, where he's struggling with release point and not throwing enough strikes.
Towering shot to center field. This one is not going to stay in the yard. It slips over the wall, and it's the second solo home run of the inning as the Phillies go back-to-back against Mark Appel, and it's 15-3.
I think that one definitely wind-aided. Nonetheless, another homer to dead center field.
And by the way, that's 9 home runs this spring for Maikel Franco.
Yeah, it is.
Phillies left fielder Cedric Hunter.
That ball's out toward left center field. Williams is back, and it's gone. Back-to-back home runs for the Phils against Mark Appel. And Cedric Hunter has a 3-hit night going.
Well, if you're a pitcher, you like to keep the home runs to that of the solo variety, but not when it's 3 in a row.
16-3.
You asked me earlier in the game, Tom, if this is really something that Cedric Hunter needs, if they have not indeed made their mind up on him yet. You see Mark Appel saying, really? But if they haven't made their mind, this obviously has to bode well for him.
Well, he's had some really good swings here tonight. Emmanuel Burris takes inside 1-0.
Has a long way to go before he's ready for the major leagues.
2-0. Back toward the middle. Get your hand out of there, Mark. J.P. Crawford will take care of Emmanuel Burris. The side is retired. 3 home runs, though, for the Phillies. Back to back as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Night will be Saturday, April 16th at 7:05 when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. All kids 14 and under will receive the kids pullover. It's a great giveaway. There you go. Take a look at it. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com.
Congratulations, you are tonight's
16-3. Phillies on top of their futures. See the flag out in center field, the way it's blowing from right to left. There have been some bombs to center field here tonight. Andres Blanco comes on to play third base for the Phils, as J.P. Crawford will lead it off against Hector Neris.
Sorry, you did not win the Hawaii trip giveaway.
Have you ever called back-to-back homers?
I have. I can't remember when, yeah. I cannot remember when, though.
See Hector's pants and whipping around there.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's whipping towards center field. It looks like it's whipping from right to left.
You can see the Fanatics' eyebrows there, how much they're whipping around, Tom.
Oh, he's been in Florida. He needs them trimmed. What a pitch to Crawford has popped up. Let's see how the wind takes care of this one. And oh man, Andres Blanco went in hard on the ankle of J.P. Arancibia, and hopefully everybody's okay. Okay, Blanco asks Arancibia if he's okay. Whitey looks like he's fine. Arancibia was holding his ankle.
Well, this is the last thing you want for anybody to get hurt. First of all, JP's got to get rid of that mask. Secondly, that's the second ball we've seen miscommunicated this evening. So that's not going to please Pete Mackanin or Larry Boa for that matter.
Well, thankfully JP's okay.
Yeah.
Because he held his ankle at one point.
Yeah. I think he got it caught underneath the thigh of Andres Blanco. And
one ball, one strike to JP Crawford. And he goes around on that off-speed pitch.
Again, if this is the regular season, that happens, you're giving the opposing team another out. You only want to give them 27.
That ball is drilled deep to right field. Going back on it is Goodell, and it is gone. A home run for J.P. Crawford.
I believe that was a splitter there, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, Tom. You give the opposition another opportunity, J.P. Crawford makes them pay. Good looking swing there by J.P.
Really good looking swing.
Strong. I believe this was another splitter. Talking about creating some backspin.
He was really out in front of that too.
But he kept his hands back.
Yeah.
His body was moving forward, but he kept those hands back.
There's Nick Williams, and he takes a splitter low. It's 1-0. 16-4. Phillies on top. Williams is 0 for 1. He grounded out, and he's walks.
It's nice to see some future players showing some power.
One ball, one strike. Production Cavity has done some research, Ben.
They have.
Yeah, the last time I called back-to-back home runs, Dusty Wathan was still in Reading as the Titans manager. It was April 2014. One ball, two strikes to Williams. Low, 2-2.
Happen to remember who the three were that hit those home runs?
I didn't, but I was just told. It was Evan Gattis, Dan Uggla, and Andrelton Simmons.
And who was it off of?
That I remembered. Swing and a miss. Out number one was B.J. Rosenberg. Whatever happened to B.J. Rosenberg? Nick Williams is down on strikes, and that'll bring Rhys Hoskins to the plate for the third time.
And that was the third strikeout for Hector Neris.
Hoskins takes inside, 1-0. Inside again. Hoskins cracks this one up the third base line. Foul. It's 2-1.
Well, if you would have told me that we'd be in the bottom of the fifth and we'd had 9 home runs thus far, I would say that you'd be full of it.
I don't think David Montgomery was going to expect 9 home runs either.
No.
David was one of the folks that threw out the first pitch tonight. As Hoskins swings over that one.
Penn Charter's finest.
And Hoskins strikes out. So 4 strikeouts for Hector Neris. And here comes Dylan Cousins.
Well, the fans are definitely getting something to take home with them. Always like to see some offense.
Well, and I think that, certain guys that you've seen it from tonight, I mean, the Phillies players, that's one thing, but Cousins, home run, J.P. Crawford's home run.
Roman Quinn's home run.
Yeah, I mean, those are guys that you're hoping to see at some point down the road with the big club. 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. We haven't seen yet, and we will either tonight at the end or on Saturday, Aaron Brown. Aaron Brown is another outfielder that the Phillies have in their system who hit over 500 this spring with the minor leaguers. Can play every outfield position. And just talking to Joe Jordan today about him, he was overflowing with praise on Aaron Brown. I bring him up because we've seen Roman Quinn, we've seen Dylan Cousins, we've seen Williams in the outfield. It's nice to have an abundance of prospects that you could potentially pick from as the years move on.
Yeah, the more the merrier when you're talking about prospects, because obviously all prospects don't pan out.
Little tapper foul, and he stays alive.
I like what Hector did right there. You see Darryl Cousins, big leg kick. Hector Neris, what's he do? Slide step. You don't get that foot down as a hitter, you're not going to have success. And Cousins, with that big leg kick, did not have his foot down there.
Arancibia dropped that third strike, so he'll just flip it to first. Emmanuel Burris does a nice job catching it and finding the bag. 5 strikeouts for Neris. He allows a run in 2 innings of work. The home run by J.P. Crawford. Yeah, it's a good night to be in Reading. It's a good night if you're a fan of the long ball. 9 home runs combined between the two teams. It's 16-4. Phils on top of the Futures as we go to the 6th inning. Leaders in Baseball America back in February released the organizational power rankings, and the Phillies have found themselves just behind the Texas Rangers as far as the rankings go of farm systems. That's a good thing because they were in the 20s a little over a year ago, and now they find themselves in the top 10.
A couple good trades will do that for you.
Mark Appel will start the 6th inning against Will Venable. And the first pitch is low, 1-0. Venable has 2 hits today, 2 RBIs. Outside, 2-0. What do you want to see from Appel here after giving up 3 solo home runs?
Just continue to attack. Locate the fastball and work ahead. He does have a lot of movement, though, Tom.
Compared to the general population.
3-1. Venable take it all the way. That one's lined right at the second baseman, Valentin, and he makes the catch, 1 away. Valentin is in at second base. Andrew Knapp is now behind the plate. And Peter Borges will be the batter.
Peter Borges thinking, what the heck did I just do? Look at an emergency hack there. If you're down 0-2, you're not sure whether you can swing, you call that emergency hack, and kind of what that was.
A little out in front of that breaking pitch. Tommy Joseph's come on to play first base. Tommy will be in AAA this year with Lehigh Valley. Former catching prospects. 0-2 pitch coming to Borges. Outside, 1-2.
Yeah, you really do hope that for Tommy Joseph, making that transition from catcher to first base, you really hope that those concussions are behind him.
Off the end of the bat, and it'll roll foul.
A change up there by Mark Appel.
Yeah, so it looks like he's mixing in more of his pitches during this round.
You see Tommy. Probably doesn't need those sunglasses though at this hour.
Just in case. You know, honestly, we say that, but he had to wear them for a little while because of the concussions, because of the lights. That ball was smoked foul. Look out, boys. So 7 pitch at bat. Bell shakes off Andrew Knapp. And a strike 3 called. So he comes back with that pitch there to get him looking. Now that's his first strikeout.
Yeah, you like to see that battle back. Make a good pitch. And you're right, though. He is using all his pitches. Breaking ball there. One good thing that pitchers that do have a lot of moving parts and that can repeat that release point is the fact that it's hard to pick up at times. So if you do have a lot of moving parts and you can repeat that release point, you might find yourself having some success.
There's JP Arancibia. Fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, last year, Appel, his earned run average was 4.37 between AA and AAA. He did win 10 games. He averaged a little less than a strikeout per innings pitched. That one's right back through the middle. A base hit for Arancibia. Folks wondered about JP's future with the Phillies. He's going to be with the organization, whether it be in AAA. I don't know if he's going to be up here as a bat off the bench. Most likely he'll be in the minor leagues and trying to help Andrew Knapp get himself situated in AAA.
Yep. He'll be that of the mentor type. Obviously, a lot of big league experience does Arancibia have.
Freddie Galvis takes a strike, 0-1.
You know, if something were to happen to Chooch or Cameron Rupp, he might be the one that gets the call because of that experience.
Slide step from Appel.
It's Freddie's 5th at bat this evening.
I think they're figuring, you know what, he's had some pretty good swings tonight. Let's just let him keep rolling.
You don't know what the game plan is for these guys in the next 2 games.
Right.
The Orioles tomorrow and then another futures game on Saturday before taking off for Cincinnati.
The Phillies will take off Sunday after the game against the Futures, and they'll have Sunday off. There will be a There will be a workout, but it will be a voluntary workout. It's mandated to be an off day for the club.
Also the last day of the Masters, Tom.
Or that. 0-2 pitch. Inside 1-2.
You ever been there, Augusta?
I have not.
No?
You need a special invitation to get there.
Well, if I were a member, I would invite you, Tom.
Not to play, but just to go.
Oh, you could definitely play.
Yeah. Inside 2-2. Well, 9 home runs tonight on a very windy night in Reading, Pennsylvania. Did they help? Probably for some.
I do not have the game tomorrow. Matt will have it. But on Saturday, I will make it a point to go find Darren Ruff and ask him if that was the hardest ball he's ever hit in his life.
So you don't want us to ask him tomorrow?
Feel free. Have at it.
No.
Have at it.
I don't want to hamper your research. Swing and a miss. Bell with a strikeout to wrap up this 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. And Pell showing some pretty good secondary pitches during this 6th inning. It'll be the second Phillies Futures game at Citizens Bank Park. This one presented by PGW. When you come to the ballpark, if you are 14 and under, you'll receive the Phillies Futures Fathead. Again, it's a 105 first pitch. Get a chance to see some of the top Phils prospects, just like tonight. Go to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets. Hello, Ben Davis. I'm Tom McCarthy. It's been a nice night out in Reading. A lot of home runs, 9. Wind has been carrying out for a good portion of the night. There's been some balls that have hit pretty good, too. It has not deterred, even though the sun has gone down, those youngsters from being out in the pool.
No, it hasn't.
Now batting for the Futures, number 8, Andrew.
They have mascots everywhere in Reading. Here's Andrew Knapp to lead it off. Hector Neris getting a long look here tonight. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. You know which mascot that was, Ben?
Lay it on me.
Well, you don't know which one that is?
Bucky the Beaver?
Bucky the Beaver.
Do have a lot of them here.
Andrew Knapp up for the first time. He had some good swings during spring training. Takes way upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another good changeup. He has had a decent changeup here tonight. He has 6 strikeouts in 2 1/3. And 1 away at the bottom of the 6th inning. And here's Tommy Joseph. Phillies acquired Tommy Joseph from the San Francisco Giants. And when they did, many people felt like the Phils were getting a top catching prospect. In reality, they were. But one concussion after another. I'm sure that you can relate to what he was going through. Not that you ever had them, you know, by all the foul balls, but it was one foul ball after another on the mask that caused his concussions.
Yeah, you get your bell rung that many times, you start to feel it, and obviously people, guys, what they have up top, it varies. You know, some guys can take that, some guys cannot. You know, sometimes you just get hit right in the right spot, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, Tommy Joseph, his first 2 years as a prospect, as an 18-year-old and as a 19-year-old, hit 16 and 22 home runs. Now, the California League was when he was 19, hit 22 home runs, but that's going to open up eyes all around baseball when you have those kind of power numbers.
Yes.
So he'll go to Lehigh Valley. He'll be a DH. He'll play first base.
He's a big, strong kid.
Boy, he's a good kid, too.
Great guy.
3 balls, 1 strike. And ball 4. First walk issued by Hector.
I really don't remember ever getting a foul tip. Yeah, there were a couple that kind of just shake it off, but I don't remember where one in particular was like not knowing where I was or feeling those effects to that extent.
Jespiel Valentin, tapper back to the mounds. Burris hangs on to the bag. 1-3 on the putout.
To be honest, I don't know how much there is up there to affect.
Burris made a nice play. Now Angelo Mora will be the batter.
You have that song in your phone, Tom?
I actually think I just took it off. There's so many that are like it. Mora, 23 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. He started in the Phillies Dominican Summer League at the age of 18. He got 1 at bat this spring. Last year in Reading, played in 37 games, hit .327. Overall in 99 games, hit .312. Takes inside. He was all over the diamond, as you see Joseph at second base. All over the diamond last year. Played at second base, third base, and shortstop. Two balls, no strikes. Good fastball.
The majority of his fastballs have been located down in the zone, which you like to see.
It's a shame. He was like number 2 prospect in baseball.
2-2.
And he was an all-star. And after the all-star game,
He's been working ahead.
Mora is just 23 years old. In fact, he just turned 23 on the 25th of February. There's a pretty good chance that he'll start again in Reading. That's where he finished up. Played a little winter ball. Hits that one sharply on the ground. Nice play by Burris. Flips it right where Neris should be in time. That's a fantastic play by Emmanuel Burris. And this side is retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. home runs combined. This was the last play of the last inning. Neris got over. This is a fantastic play by Burris.
Tremendous. The throw is just right on the money, and I don't know if Moore and Neris have a past or a history, but Neris flips him the ball, and then Moore flips it right back. Hits him in the left shoulder.
Maybe he just wanted to give him a souvenir.
Well, maybe there's some history there. I don't know, but I know I wouldn't take that if I were a player.
Yep. Well, here's Ryan Howard.
Number 6, Ryan Howard.
Reading franchise, while being affiliated with the Phillies, has had 2 Hall of Famers, Mike Schmidt and Ryan Sandberg. But Ryan Howard, who played in 2004 for the Reading Phils, was a very popular player because he's able to do that. The opposite way, the 11th home run of the night combined between the 2 teams. It's now 17-4.
Boy, you like to see that, don't you, Tom? And the fans here love him. They love him.
Well, he had 37 home runs when he was with the Reading Phils back in 2004. Hit 46 combined that year.
There you see him. Something Ryan Howard has done so many times over the years, driving balls out to left field.
Well, after the standing ovation, Howard hits the home run the opposite way. Here's Goodell, who lines one into center field for a base hit. So that's his second hit.
So Ryan batted for Cesar Hernandez. You think he'll go in and play second?
Maybe.
Before the Phillies, number 4, Andres.
By the way, that hit by Goodell was the 19th hit for the Phillies here tonight. 17 runs, 19 hits. There have been 11 home runs hit between the 2 teams. Here's Andres Blanco. And a strike to Blanco.
A standing O for the big piece.
Yep.
Pretty neat.
That one's rocketed right past Tommy Joseph into right field.
Goodell with a laser. Andres with a laser. These boys are swinging it tonight, Tom.
They are. 17 runs on 20 hits. By the way, crowd tonight, as we mentioned, is a sellout. They were expecting over 9,000. They have over 9,000 tonight. Cedric Hunter, who has 3 of the hits. That one eats up Andrew Knapp, gets away. And that'll be a wild pitch, so the runners will move up. Hunter has one of those 8 home runs for the Phils. Out to left field. And Hunter's retired. Goodell does not tag. And there's one away.
I think that's a ball there. During the regular season, you would see Tyler Goodell, especially with his wheels. You might see him make an effort to score on that. I think it was definitely deep enough.
Sure it was, yeah. Maybe it was 7-4 instead of 17-4.
Right again.
Here's Emmanuel Burris. Hear the fans chanting, "We want Chooch" in the background. There he is.
It's got to make you feel good. They better get going. They got one out here in the 7th. They're already playing 7 tonight, Tom.
Sounds like he's getting a helmet and a bat. Chopper right side. Valentin throws a one-hopper, not in time. Burris is safe. A run scores. And the Phillies have runners on first and third. And Carlos Ruiz looks like he's going to come up.
Boy, this is great. This is just awesome.
Well, Carlos had a handful of stints in Reading. He first played for the Reading Phillies in 2003. Played in 52 games, then 101 games in 04. Had 17 home runs. And that's where he started opening up eyes power-wise. He followed up with 16 the next year. Andrew Knapp was giving him a little extra time. He went out toward Appel to kind of soak in the standing ovation. And Carlos takes a little low. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes.
By the way, how fast did Emmanuel Burris get down the line? That slow roll to the second.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest throws by Valentin, but he was going to be safe anyway.
Well past the bag.
PHI 3-0.
He's got the green light, right, Tom?
I would think he's got the green light, and it's blinking pretty bright. Runners on first and third. Just wasn't his pitch.
No.
Center field.
Another rocket.
Yep. A run will score. Tochi gets the throw in. It's a sac fly for Ruiz. '94 Phillies.
Really a neat moment for Brian Howard and Carlos Ruiz.
Peter Borges is 1 for 4. He has struck out 3 times tonight. He has an RBI single. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Did you figure out yet where you played the exhibition game in the minor leagues?
It was either Iowa or Indiana.
Clinton, Iowa. Yes, no?
I would have remembered it there. I want to say it was Indiana.
Tommy Joseph says he has it. Makes the catch. Side is retired. The Phillies scored 3 more runs. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies have had a pretty nice night offensively. The fans, though, have had a great night watching. Inside First Energy Stadium, where tonight the Phillies playing their future stars, lead it 19-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. A crowd of more than 9,000 on hand to watch this one. In fact, 9,320. And they've watched a display of offense, and Carlos Ruiz is not staying in the game to catch. Carlos is going to play the infield, a second baseman by trade. Made the transition to being a catcher after being with the Phils for a couple of years in their farm system. And now he's playing a little third base.
He's out taking balls at third base today with Maikel Franco.
And Dalier Hinojosa will be the new pitcher for the Phils. Here's Carlos Tocci. It's the first pitch up the third base line, foul.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the honor of silver medal license plate HCW0001, immediately.
Tocci, 20 years old, just 20, from Venezuela. Last year for Clearwater, he had 258 with 2 home runs. With Lakewood, he had 321 with a couple of home runs. But again, just 20 years old. He wound up playing 11 games in the winter leagues in Venezuela. And he got 30 at bats, 39 plate appearances. Way inside, 3-1.
11 homers tonight.
8 by the Phils, 3 by the Futures.
Did you have to carry the one there?
I did, because for a couple innings we were saying 10 home runs. There's a base hit to center field for Tocci. MLB.com at bat. Follow Phillies baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablets. So Tocci's aboard with a leadoff single. Mal Canello, who looks all of 15 standing up there. And when the Phillies say they were bringing some of their prospects, it was true. Last year when he made his debut in Clearwater at the age of 20, he had a home run. Overall last year between Lakewood and Clearwater, he had 249. Excuse me, he hit 281 with 8 home runs, 47 runs batted in.
Solid year.
Yep. Also stole 17 bases.
And only went through one razor. Arancinia's
caught the entire night. Keeps that one in front of him.
JP's actually caught a few more innings than I thought he would in this camp. I know Chute's going to play for his native Panama. However, he's logged a lot of innings. Still blocking the ball in the 7th inning of a 19-4 game you always like to see.
Well, they're unable to turn the double play because he was moving up the line. So 4-6 on the put out at second base.
He sure was.
I don't even know if the flip was lower by Blanco, if he would have been able to do anything, because he was moving.
Well, if anything, I think you may have seen Andres throw the ball overhand, or more of a Laredo as opposed to shoveling it the way he did. That took up a lot of time, that ball in the air that long.
Here is Andrew Poulin, a 22-year-old. Phillies took in the 5th round in 2012 at a high school. And he rolls that one foul. It got a piece of him. Last year, he spent the entire year with the Threshers. Hit 14 home runs, hit 258. Also drove in 73.
On TV.
Nice progression, though, power-wise for him. 2, 3, 9, 14.
That's a tough leg to hit that many home runs in.
Are you guys going to do something so that they can see you on TV? What are you going to do?
He's played a little second base. He's played a little outfield. He's played a little first base. Last year, he made the shift to the outfield pretty much full time. Played 98 of his games out in the outfield.
It shows that he's athletic enough to move around.
Outside. He, one thing I like that stood out for him last year, he had 3 errors in those games. He had 10 outfield assists. I mean, to make the transition from the infield to the outfield, to have that strong an arm, that's pretty good. Not a big kid.
No.
Opposite way, foul.
See the cup of that bat? Pretty cute. It
almost looked like he dented it.
He did dent it.
Should go get another bat.
It's not going to affect anything.
No.
If you barrel it up, no.
Guys, let's not leave anything behind. Nathan, don't forget your bat.
Well, the changeup might affect it a little bit. That was a good pitch by Hinojosa. And there are 2 outs.
Pierre and Siba giving Dalier Hinojosa a little positive feedback there. Dalier nodding his head.
Well, here's Hoskins. He'll get 4 at-bats here tonight. He's 0 for 3. Or I should say 1 for 3. First ball that he hit was originally scored an error, and it was turned to a single. Back toward the middle. And backhanded nicely by Blanco. Flips it over to first, and the tag by Emmanuel Burris, and the ball game is over. A fine play by Andres Blanco to finish up the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, it turned out to be an excellent night for the Phillies and for their future stars. A crowd of 9,320 watched the Phils explode for 8 home runs. They scored 19 runs tonight on 21 base hits. And here we go. All 11 home runs between the 2 teams are W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Odubel, Freddie to left center. Darren Ruff with a bullet to left. Cousins to dead center. Cesar out to left center. And there's a theme here. Center field, center field, center field. Another one to dead center. Bronco dead center. And Cedric with the 3 in a row. Off Mark Appel. Hanger there for Crawford. Big piece to left field. And they are all 11 homers for your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Well, it was all about offense tonight between the 2 teams. 23 runs, 28 base hits. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this, after Phillies victory.